Welcome to Treacherous Path. I'm your host, Figure It Out. And I mean that. Figure it out. In life, everything that we do, we have to figure it out. This is just one more thing. Try to figure out who I am. Good luck. Today's Book of Life, which is a book I wrote for my daughter in case I died. And I didn't die, so I'm here sharing it with you. One page at a time, one step at a time, just like I raised my daughter. Today's subject, eviction. When I lived in Dallas, downtown, and I lived in downtown Dallas, Texas, I had a lot of issues facing me. I was completely on my own. I had to pawn everything I owned just to get an apartment there. And I had a job, but it didn't pay my bills. You got to remember, I escaped to Dallas. That's another story. But the person that I lived with when I got there, so a little backstory. The person that I lived with when I got there didn't last very long, and I was out on my butt in a couple of months. And so the help that I was going to get wasn't really help, and I was kind of really on my own, and this is what happened. I had to pawn everything I owned just to get an apartment. I had a job, but it didn't pay enough to pay my bills. I barely ate, and I had no power. I went to the library for books to read just to keep my mind busy because I didn't have any internet. Then the day came. I answered the door, and there was a little piece of paper on the door telling me to be out on the streets of Dallas, Texas tomorrow morning. I was really distraught that night. I spent my last $7 on a key lime pie and ate the whole thing while sitting in a floor with no power, no bed, and a couple of books to read. That next morning, I got a phone call. That phone call was from an apartment complex in Dallas that I had applied to get a job. They told me, "Mr. Hudson, I'm sorry, but the position that you applied for is no longer available. It was filled." And my heart dropped. I couldn't believe it that I was on my last leg and this was it. And then she said, "But we were reading your resume, and we do have a position for supervisor open, and you qualify. Would you like that job instead?" And you can imagine what happened after that. I got an apartment, I got a job that paid really, really good, and my life continued on because my skill set was such that I can do that. I hope that you learned the lesson here. Your skills, what you can do, are the most important thing that you can design in your life. Treacherous path out.